thank you so much for being a guest on my show, Shining on Purpose.
Thank you for having me.
I remember the first time we met. We were in the casting room.
Yes, indeed.
Myself, Akil, and I think Tyler.
Tyler.
Was Tyler there that day?
Yes.
And Akil and I saw you work, and when you walked out the room, we were like, we gotta have him in this short film. We got to have him in the film. I mean, you came in and you blew us away. Your energy, you came in, you brought it. We were like, that's somebody who knows what they're doing, number one. And that is somebody we want on set.
Wow.
Because we knew you were gonna bring it, the energy, the professionalism, when I tell you, we were on set and in between takes, you know how when you hear the director say cut, right after the cut, the whole crew, everybody in the room would just be like, everybody is bursting out laughing from Jason. So we knew we had to have you on set, and I'm so happy that we cast you, and I'm so happy that I met you, that we crossed paths.
Yes.
Divine.
Truly divine. And I'm equally as happy, having equally the amount of fun, and truly grateful, because we're doing some great work, and there's so much more great work to be done.
Absolutely.
So,
well, without further ado, let's get started.
Let's get started.
Welcome to my channel. This is going to go on my channel.
Yes, okay, I'm with it, yes.
Welcome back to Shining on Purpose with yours truly, Ivory Shields. Today I have the absolute pleasure of interviewing Mr. Jason C. Louder. Yes, indeed. Yes. I said, let me get this man on my show. I'm blessed and honored to have him on my show in the seat before he gets on, I don't know, in the morning with Kelly and Anderson Cooper.
Hey, we're going to put that into the,
put
that into the universe. Let's put it out there.
Exactly, and The Real and The View.
Hey, I'll show you.
Let me get him right here first, okay?
First, baby.
I am so happy to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we're just gonna delve right into it. You know, I like to have people, I like to interview people who I feel have a sense of soul and groundedness about them. I am fascinated by your story. Which is why I wanted to have you on today and interview you, because you took the unconventional route to acting, and so did I. So your story definitely resonates with me. And we're both ATLians.
Come on.
Peace up, A-Town
down.
down.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Peace up, A-Town down. So a native ATLian, I love it. Grew up here in Atlanta. I grew up on the east side.
Okay, so I'm on the south side.
On the south side.
Yeah.
My family's on the south side.
Kind of far.
You know.
Yeah.
Kind of far. East side, Decatur, West, Greater. Not. But anyway. So, you know, go ahead and, for people who don't know you, go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us who you are and what you're currently working on.
Copy that. Well, first of all, I'm as equally blessed to be in your presence, to be asked to come in and join you on this beautiful platform that you have. I'm proud of you, and I want to say, like, hey, kudos, congratulations.
Thank you.
Enough blessings to you as you continue to journey forward. You know
Thank
what I mean?
you.
Yes, ma'am.
I appreciate that.
So we are both blessed.
Yes.
And so, like you said, I'm born and raised. I'm an Atlanta native. I am an AT-alien. Okay, you know what I'm saying. So, this is home. And wow, went to school at Riverwood High School. Riverwood, and then ventured out into college at Georgia Southern University. Matriculated there, then came back home to become a teacher. Teaching found me. Wasn't looking to be a teacher. I worked at a summer school program, and they said, hey, after the summer camp was over, Miss Quash, Sandra Quash, she believed in me enough to say, hey, I want to bring you on board full time. And I said, to do what? And she was like, to teach, because the children love you. And I was like, but I didn't go to school. She said, listen, that's something that we can work on together. And so she taught me how to teach. And I taught computer and PE at Romar Academy. I was the physical education guy, you know. Yes, indeed. And so I just played. That's in the space of teaching. I played. You know, I was like, yo, what kind of teacher would I want? And that's what I wanted to become. So we did games. We did speak outs, we broke computers apart, we put them back together. Then in PE, we ran around the neighborhood.
And that's why I said I can see you being a PE teacher, because Jason is full of life and full of energy, more energetic than most people I know. So I can certainly see him out on the fields with the kids running and building stuff, and I mean, just all in it.
Fully in it. And to the point to where some teachers begin to punish. For punishment, they said, you can't go to PE. And that was tough for me, because I'm like, yo, this is PE, you know. But and I was allowed to do what I wanted to do, which was a blessing, to the point to where, put it on camera now, like, listen, grades didn't matter to me. I'm like, everybody can say, as long as y'all can do jumping jacks and do a little jumping jack and do some push-up, you're going to get an A. Yeah. So I don't know if that's...
I wish I was in your PE class. I almost failed.
So that was fun, you know. So I went from there. That was Romar Academy, and then I went from there to Imhotep Academy. And at Imhotep Academy, they had a soccer program. So I was also doing soccer at Romar, but I was one of the first coaches there, and we started soccer. I coached soccer, and then at Imhotep, they were the next level of soccer.
Now, did you play soccer in?
I did not play soccer.
Oh, you just talented.
Well, you know what? When I was asked to coach soccer, I said, well, let me read the books. So I read the books, and I was like, oh, this is like basketball. So I played basketball, but I was like, they just using their feet. And I just coached soccer like I coached basketball. We did 3-man weaves, and it was...
Who can do that? I mean, like, seriously, only Jason.
Well, I'm blessed. Yeah, truly God has blessed me, you know. So absolutely. I share pass those blessings on. And we had fun.
Yeah.
So
I can believe it.
Imhotep, I was at Romar for 8 years, and then I was at Imhotep for 7 years.
Okay.
And so while at Imhotep, a friend of mine called me one day, and he said, "Hey, didn't you say you wanted to be an actor?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know if we want to go. Do we want to go into that? Do we want to go into that?"
Yeah.
Okay, so he hit me up, and he was like, he was acting out a friend. That's one of my brothers. We was in a rap. I used to be a rapper too. I was in a rapper.
Listen, I read that somewhere that you were part of a groundbreaking underground rap group.
Yes, indeed. Unknown Seeds.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I've known you for several years. I never knew that.
Wow. And you know what? I don't know why that doesn't come up as much as I would like it to, but I mean, I was passionate. I was a gifted MC, and I met 4 other gifted MCs, and we all came together. We formed a group, and then we met 6 other groups, and we formed this super group called the Cult of Icon, and we revolutionized hip hop in Atlanta. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that until like the day before yesterday.
Wow. That's
I'm
cool.
like, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, you just do everything. You just cross all kinds of barriers and lanes. You know the expression "stay in your lane."
Okay.
That doesn't apply to Jason Lowry. Okay.
There's some lanes that I might want to stay away from, but
don't apply to him.
Yeah. Okay, I received that.
Don't apply to you. Okay.
But so
you got a call about acting.
Acting, yeah. He said, "Didn't you say you wanted to be an actor?" And I was like, maybe, I don't know, but I'm not. Well, I'm transparent. I said we were smoking when we had that conversation. So needless to say, you know what I'm saying, there were lots of things that were discussed, and
nothing wrong with that.
Right. I mean, hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's another proponent we can jump into too, because I'm Bob Marley for the legalization. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
Me too.
yeah,
So
yes indeed. So so yeah, I said, no, we were smoking, and he said, oh well, Shaka's sister is having a audition down at Georgia State. Shaka Zulu, his sister was at Georgia State, and she was having an audition for their thesis. Theater thesis projects, and so.
And Shaka Zulu was the radio host.
Shaka Zulu back in the day.
Back in the day.
Right, now the CEO of DTP.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So that whole, once again, another rabbit hole, but it's dope. How serendipity, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so I went to the audition, and they gave me the size. She was like, okay, here you go, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? She was like, no, just read over it. Oh, you're green. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. She was like, okay, just go step outside, read over this, and then we'll call you in. So I'm reading, and I'm like, oh, wow, this is dope. Okay, this is real. It was about some revolutionary Black Panthers who were accused of robbing a Brinks truck.
Okay.
And went and got locked up.
Almost like dead presidents.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I read that, and they called me in, and they say, okay, we're gonna read with her. So we start reading, and she's reading, and I'm reading, and I'm like, yo, no, this is real. So we're going back and forth, and I'm like, oh man, I felt good. And so the next person beside her, she was like, hey, can you read my script too? And I was like, yeah. So she gave me hers, and it was about a Muslim terrorist. And I was like, yo. So we're reading back and forth, and I'm like, yo, this is dope. And then the next person says, hey, can you read mine too? Do you have a Jamaican accent? I was like, no, but I can try. And I did, I read hers, and I was like, man, this is so powerful and fun. And then the last person said, can you read mine? And I was like, sure.
Yeah.
So that was that. And then the president of the department, the chair of the department called me, Dr. Charlene Holmes, she called me, she said, Jason louder. I said, yes ma'am. She said, you got cast in all of the, she said, but here's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna let you do that because you never acted before. Mm-hmm. And that wouldn't be fair for not only you, but it wouldn't be fair for them because they'll be pulling for your time. Mm-hmm. And you're gonna have to be prepared. And so she said, you can choose two. So I chose
what did you choose?
The revolutionary, you know what I'm saying? Of course. And then I chose the Muslim terrorist.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is interesting, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. Mm-hmm. The roles that you seem to get picked for. Okay. Excuse me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting dynamic, but we'll come back to that a little bit later.
Okay.
So when you decided to leave your career of teaching behind and move into this new lane of acting, what was that moment like for you? Like what were you feeling? What were you thinking? What was that like? Can you tell everybody?
Wow. So just a precursor, like, so acting found me, teaching found me, acting found me. So that's been my life. And so year number 6 at Imhotep. By that time I've been in a lot of theater, a lot of plays.
So you were still teaching?
I was still teaching and acting.
Okay.
So, but it got to the point to where, I was kind of, I had my students help me learn lines. We would do in class. We prepare for auditions.
Been there, done that. I would be with patients like, hey, why don't you be this other person in my scene?
So,
they love it.
Yeah. But to the point that they would ask me, "Listen, do you have another script? Can we read scripts with you?" And I would always kind of have my script in my clipboard. And I'd be like, "Oh yeah, hey, let's all right." And so that year, the end of the year, the owner, she called me in her office. She said, "Hey, Mr. Locke, I need to talk to you." I said, "Cool." She said, "So we're not going to renew your contract. You missed about 69 days of school, and we see that you love acting, and we don't want to hold you back. And so we want you here, but we feel like we would be doing you a disservice by keeping you here. And I was like, okay, I can come back once a week though. I can teach once a week. And she, no, she said, just go. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So I called my cousin up and I was like, yo, bruh, I'm not gonna be teaching like anymore. He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, they didn't renew my contract. They're not bringing me back. So he was like, well, he said, you need to get your hustle on. So he was like, you can go to DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So that was around it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, that was 2016 when they didn't renew my
Okay.
contract.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, all right. So I signed up for that, doing the DoorDash, doing the Postmates, doing the Uber Eats. At the same time, I had really been I had been doing storytelling as well. So my storytelling began to start to take shape as well, begin to get more libraries, more schools starting to call me in to do stories. So that was kind of helping to sustain me.
And the storytelling was sort of cultivated as a teacher.
As a teacher.
Got it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So building blocks.
Got it.
And that's, yeah. So, so one day I was delivering for Uber Eats, and my I'm gonna reverse a little bit. So my agent, she called me one day and she said, hey.
So you got an agent?
Oh, I had an agent already while I was at Imhotep. I was already agent up.
Okay.
Once again, my agent found me
Okay.
on a referral.
Ah.
Yep, never saw me act before, but signed me to her agency after we had a Skype interview. Signed me that day. She was like, hey.
Someone else you were working with in the acting industry
Correct,
referred you
me to this
agency.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important for people to know,
Mm-hmm.
for people to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Because people, one thing that a lot of new actors struggle with, and not even new actors, but a lot of actors, period,
Mm-hmm.
is finding an agent.
Yeah.
And, one of the big pieces of advice that we can give is referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Referrals is one way.
Absolutely.
I know traditionally people want to submit
Correct.
their headshots and things like that.
Correct.
But referrals are really a great way to get in. Another great way, and you tell me if you agree,
Okay.
is being in class. Because a lot of instructors around town here in Atlanta, they will invite agents
Mhm.
to class to
Mhm.
watch you perform.
Mm-hmm.
So, class is not just, you spending money every month. It's an investment. If you're in the right class in the city, it is definitely an investment because, again, like I said, agents are there.
Mhm.
Some instructors in town
Correct.
will invite agents, and they also invite casting directors.
That's correct. Yeah.
So get in class
Yeah,
for
yeah.
new actors.
Yeah, and I just want to almost double down on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all my first 2 years of acting. After I did those two pieces at
Uh-huh.
Georgia State, I was in everybody's class.
Same here.
I want to learn because I was so eager to
You're a
learn.
student.
Yeah, I was a true student, truly a student. Yeah.
Excuse me. Same here.
Yeah.
I was in class sometimes 2-3 times a week.
Facts. Yeah. And that's, but that's, I think that's a part of the process when we don't have that infrastructure here to have the acting schools and the repertories, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have to find quality classes, and I think we have them here in Atlanta.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they, and then some of the classes do showcases where then the agents come and they watch the showcases, and I've seen people get signed after showcases.
I have too.
So those are both great avenues.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the class is the key.
Class is key. Class
Yeah.
is king.
Class is king. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were still kind of in between, and then they let you go,
Mhm.
and then you were doing your Uber Eats
Mhm,
thing.
mhm.
So
Yes.
So for you, it really wasn't a moment of you leaving. You were kind of the universe.
Come on.
The universe
Yeah.
set it up for you.
Absolutely.
The universe did the work for you,
100,000%.
basically.
Yeah.
So even in that moment, it sounds like you were you felt at peace with it? Like, what did you feel?
So once again, I was nervous when she said we're not going to renew your contract. And I tried to come up with ways where I can come back and I can still, because that's teaching was all I knew. As far as income was concerned, that's all I knew.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh my God, how am I gonna feed myself? How am I gonna pay my bills? That was the biggest thing for me. And so it was a little bit nervous. There was some nervousness, as well as like, okay, this is it then. This is what it's gonna be. So let me just embrace it, walk into it, and take it on.
Be like water, flow with it.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's an interesting point or an interesting narrative. Because I think a lot of times when we are let go from jobs and companies, we kind of look at it like, oh my God, you're devastated, what am I gonna do? When if you really stop and process it, oftentimes it's the universe providing you the opportunity, the space. The universe has created a space for you to do what you are put here to do. What's in your heart, your passion, your purpose that you're too afraid to step out on and pursue. And I preach a lot about being responsible enough to honor yourself and your purpose and your truth. And when you're mindful, when you're very self-aware and you trust in the universe, oftentimes the universe will just do the work for you. So the lesson here, or the opportunity for the teachable moment here, is that if you are in a situation where you're let go, you're fired or whatever, I challenge people to change your perspective around that. Because a similar thing happened to me.
Okay.
And it's not my time to tell my story. This is about Jason.
We reflections.
So we'll tell my story next time.
Yeah.
But so you felt nervous, and then did you get backlash or support from your family?
You know what? I've always gotten support from my family.
That's wonderful.
Which is truly phenomenal. Like mom, dad. My mom and dad have been in every single. My mom has been in every single one of my plays that I've been in.
Wow.
Except for one, which I know why you didn't go. Mama's alive, I understand. But outside of that, she's been to all my plays. And so my sister has loaned me money. Thank you, Mel. I'm talking about coming through on the this month I ain't get it. She's like, oh, I just sent it to you. Don't worry about it.
And your sister is amazing. I had the opportunity to meet her. She's amazing.
Yeah,
just the little time that I was with her, her energy is just amazing.
Yeah, that's little sis.
Would you say? And she's your little sister.
Right.
And she has the energy of an older sister.
She does.
She has a mature energy.
And that's how I feel it. That's how I receive it too. That's my little big sister.
Yeah. I remember you introducing her that way.
Yeah.
Is she your biggest supporter?
You know what? Just my family in general. They're so family and friends, man. Like I that's all I've gotten on this on the journey thus far. I've gotten super nothing but support, encouragement. Like I don't know. It's just been like a wellspring, of love manifested. So.
And that's a great thing, to have that support. And my question to you is, what would you say to those folks who don't have the support that you have?
That's a good question. Wow, man.
Because not everybody has the luxury.
That's correct. And only and once again, double down. I was one of my biggest supporters too. I was like, yo, you gonna do this. You gonna I don't care.
Say it for the people in the back.
Yeah, I was one of my biggest supporters, because I was like, yo, nobody can know what it is that my heart's desire. Nobody can know it but me. Like I can cheer can't nobody root for me like me. Can't nobody push me like me. you know what I'm saying? Can't nobody do it like Jesus. That song just can't. I don't know why that just came to my head, but you know what I'm saying. But you know, I think we have to remember that, you know, no one can do it for you. You have to do it. You know what I'm saying? So like the days when it's like, oh man, I got 67 cents in my account. Okay, so I can either I'm gonna get gas or I'm gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, so you know, but then once again, my support system is so blessed. But so the people who don't have that, you have to lean on God. You know what I'm saying? Those times of need, and then really like believe in yourself. Can't nobody believe in you more than you.
Yeah. You
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You have to have that self-belief, and it has to be unequivocally, like it has to be unchangeable, unbreakable. It has to be this knowing.
Yes.
That,
yes.
I'm going to do this. I am going to do this.
Yeah. Unshakable.
Unshakable.
And just to piggyback on that, I truly believe that if you, like you said, you believe in God and you trust God, you trust the universe, the universe will put people in your path to fill that void, to fill that space where your family is not giving you that support. Yep. You know, some of us have friends who we're closer to than family. And the universe will provide you with friends, colleagues. You just, however it comes, the universe, God will provide, will fill that space for you. With the support that you need, even if you don't have it from family members and loved ones. Yes. I truly believe that. But it does take this sort of connection with a higher power. Whether your higher power is Jesus, God, the universe, Allah, whatever. Right. You've got to have that connection to that higher power energy that you believe will feed you whenever you're, so that you don't go hungry. Correct. On all fronts, financially, emotionally, spiritually, it will definitely feed you when you have that connection.
Y'all, we in church, right? I feel like we in church right now, y'all. So.
We're preaching high.
Yes,
you have to give people what they want.
We have to. You have to. I have heard. And then the family, for just really quickly, like you say, friends who are as much as family, so then they become family.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It's so beautiful how that must finesse it sometimes.
Absolutely.
Like, whoa, you're family. We're family. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
1000%.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's important to when you're an artist, and you tell me if you agree. When you're a creative, you're an artist. It's important to find your family, your tribe. Yes. Is what we like to say.
That's it.
And the people you spend a lot of time with in this struggle, you do become family. And we become each other's tribe. You talk about having 67 cents in your bank account. We can all relate to that as artists. Yeah. I mean, it happens. Yes. I remember hearing Katy Perry talk about her being the fact. She said she was the queen of having a negative bank account. And she's a superstar. Yeah. As creatives, that's what we go through as creatives, and we, having people around you who understand that, it feeds you.
It does feed you.
It feeds you. It feeds you for sure, absolutely. So, my next question: what are some of the best pieces of advice you've gotten that don't necessarily have to do with acting, but you found yourself using them in acting? Little sauce for you to dip your nuggets in.
The veggie nuggets.
Yes, of course, vegan nuggets. Jason is vegan. I'm doing a vegan challenge this week, as a matter of fact.
Dope.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Mhm.
And just I don't like labels, so
Yes.
I have a plant-based diet.
Okay,
You know what I'm
plant-based.
saying?
Got
yeah,
it.
because
Okay.
I still like salmon.
Yeah. Ooh.
And some crabs.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I can relate.
Yeah, so,
I can relate.
you know.
I got it. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yes, indeed. Please let me know. But yeah, that's wow. So, this is, I don't know where this came from, and I know it came from maybe, I know it came from probably from one of my church, either church members or someone in the space of the spiritual realm said, what God has for you is for you. To sing that song, it never really resonated until I was doing this work and really took it in and said, oh wow, what God has for me is for me. What the universe has prepared for me is only for me, and can't no one take that away from me. I can't even mess it up. That's how strong. That's like, yo, ooh. So that right there, that's transformed my life.
Yeah.
To really accept it and really lay in that, like what God has for you is only for you.
That's a great one, because I even have used that myself.
Yes.
in thinking about booking roles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's great advice to all of us actors. Like, if you don't book something, it's okay. What's for you is for you. Something different is coming. And, you know, I don't want to say better, but something different that is just for you is coming. That role wasn't for you that you didn't book.
It wasn't.
It ain't for you, it's for somebody else. Somebody gotta be not booked.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And some of us are booked. So what's for you is for you. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
And then my grandmama, I remember I don't know, this I can't apply the acting quite, but I can in a way. She always told me to have a mattress account. So I keep
Okay.
So I keep some money in my mattress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I got it.
Always.
Yep. Always.
Always.
I was gonna say that's not just a Southern thing.
Okay.
That's an old school
That's
thing.
I think it is an old school thing. Yeah.
You know, all our great grandmamas and grandfathers had mattress under the bed.
Mhm.
I mean,
But-
sorry, had money under the bed.
Yes.
In the mattress.
In the mattress.
In a little cutout.
Yeah.
They cut it out. Put a little box in the mattress, in the box for you.
Yes.
Because they don't trust the bank, you know.
Right. Woo! And that has
Yes.
stuck with me until
Really.
this day. Yep. So thank
Yeah.
you, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Backup account
Yes.
for a rainy day.
Yes, for real. They gonna come.
Now, when you booked your very first role, who was the first person you called?
Wow.
Got me thinking.
You do have me thinking. You said, okay. First role, when I did at Georgia State, when I did that,
Your very first paid acting role.
okay.
When you booked your very first paid acting role, who did you call?
Okay. Wow.
To share the good
To
news.
share the good news. It was TV. It was Swamp Murders. And I called my best friend. I called my friend Uladi because I knew I was playing a rapist. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I just booked this role, but it's gonna be something that's kind of dark. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And we talked about it or whatever. But yeah, that's what I called.
And I'm glad that's kind of a nice little segue into my next question about the characters that you play.
Yeah.
And you do seem to play a lot of characters that are completely opposite of who you truly are. Like, Jason is like the epitome of like a heart with feet and arms. He's light, he's fun, he's happy, he's not dark, he's not mean, he is just, you are the complete opposite of a lot of the roles that you so very beautifully portray. So my question is, what is that process like preparing for those roles?
And here's, so I think the interesting dynamic is that, like, I do have that side of me, like, and so, but I've kind of like, I've contained it and pushed it down and quelled it and been so afraid of it that this is what you get now. You get this, you know what I'm saying, this loving act, because I'm afraid of that side of me and what it would look like to the world. What it, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it peeks its little head out. Sometimes when I'm driving on the expressway, I'm like, man, what? You stupid! So it does. It comes out.
SWAT comes out.
SWAT does come out every now and again. But as far as like the characters, so the training, like just in taking classes, and I've learned different techniques and different, you know, with the Chubbuck technique, there's the 12 steps. So kind of applying those sometimes to the process. So that's a beautiful journey to do those steps, because you have a lot of discoveries. But at the end of the day, I've just learned to not judge any character. You know what I'm saying? And I first, for a while, I was like, no, I don't want to call them characters, because I don't want to be acting. I want to be living truthfully. So I'm just giving an honest portrayal. I'm not a character, but for the terminology, we're the characters that I do play when they're dark, and you know, I just do the work of being as honest as possible, knowing that there is a rapist inside, that there is a murderer here, there is an abusive husband here. That's all here in who I am, my being, and so allowing those manifestations to kind of live through the character. You know what I'm saying? And and I'm learning now also to bring Jason, always bring me to the work as well, because that's what I have. That's what they booked. So I gotta bring me. But yeah.
That's an interesting observation. I think that a lot of actors, especially new actors or beginning actors, need to hear. Not your point about not judging the character, and understanding that we all have that darkness in us. We all have that little bad side. And I don't like to call it bad, but we all have that in us.
That opposing force.
Yes.
We all have that opposing force that's there.
The contrast.
The contrast. We all have the contrast.
We all have the contrast.
Absolutely.
And it's just a matter of tapping into it and connecting with it for your character to live truthfully through that character.
Yeah. And I think that's Dorian Santiago, he kind of like, he brought me to that understanding. He was like, yo, there's all these beings inside, those people, if you will, those energies are there, you know, those vibrations are there, you know, you just have mastered the art of raising the vibrations. And so when you have the opportunity to tap into those lower vibrations, you can, because they do exist inside of your vessel. And that's what this is. I'm a vessel, and so I just want to be the most, present in the most giving vessel that I can be during those moments. And Greg Allen said, man, he said, what's the when you're typecast? He said, what's the key word in being typecast? Cast, bruh. He said, so you better work on your Jamaican accent, you better work on your African accent, because that's gonna get you work in this industry. And then you can, once they see that, then you can work your way into some other spaces. He said, you're gonna be a thug, you're gonna be a drug dealer, he said, that's what it is right now. But get cast, keep working and let them see the work, and then eventually you can say, okay, you know what? I have something else to offer you guys. Because I have a leg to stand on. And
you have that foundation.
That foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the whole typecasting thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's easier to accept that when you're grounded in who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
you have a bigger vision for what you're doing.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
I do believe that
Mm-hmm.
you are going to be that person who's going to create your own content.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to be able to show the world another side of you.
Yeah. Wow.
You know, there's a bigger goal, a bigger purpose here.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it's okay to have that, to go through that phase, that typecast phase.
Mm-hmm.
Because on the other side of this is something great
Right.
that y'all don't see coming.
Oh, my.
Mm.
I received that. Okay, let's get it. Let's go.
Okay,
Other
so
side of the mountain.
exactly. So you talked about the pastor planting the seed of what's for you is for you.
Yes.
So what seeds have you planted in someone else, and how have you seen that come to fruition? Can you think of anybody in?
God, it's so dope. I think so. One of my classmates, we were in Victor Love's class together, and
I like Victor Love.
yeah, Victor. God, that's my acting daddy. Victor's my acting daddy. I call him my acting daddy. But we were in class together, and he was like, "Hey, Jason, man, you gonna be my mentor?" And I was like, "Bro, I'm not." You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning myself, brother. And he just kept telling me that. So sometimes he'd get an audition, he would call me, "Hey Jay, I'm gonna send you my script, man. Just tell me, can you help me break it down?" I'm like, yeah, I got you, no worries. I'm not gonna say no to anybody. So we would do that, and we would work through it. And so like recently, maybe like in January, February, he was like, "Hey man, I have a podcast that he's working on." And he was like, "Man, I got this podcast. I want you to come and I want you to tell your story." And I was like, "Oh, dope." So we did that. And whenever I would talk to him, I'd be like, "Yo, bro, man, we live in abundance. Like I've been speaking this for like years. So now it's a part of it's just a part of who I am now. Like abundant. I know that we are living in abundance, and we have so much that's prepared for us. We just have to walk in our greatness." You know, and so I just be like abundance. And so we were doing the podcast, and he was like, "Abundance King, abundance." So Janelle, that's my brother. He was Abundance King. And so after we finished, he said, "So what you got working on next?" I said, "Yo, I have an audition for this Wu-Tang series." He was like, "Bro, I have a callback for the Wu-Tang." He said, "I'll see you on set." I was like, "Dope. I'll see you on set, bro." Mm-hmm. Fast forward. Me and him saw each other on set.
On set.
Yes,
on set.
On set. And we just like abundance.
Mm-hmm.
Abundance. But knowing that, you know, just I was a light for he and I to reflect off of one another, and to know that that's what he speaks now. He speaks abundance. He speaks, and it's like, wow, man, just to see it. I'm thankful for him and super proud of him. You know what I'm saying? So
gives me chills.
Mm-hmm.
Gives me chills. That goes back to what we talked about earlier, finding your tribe. Because you pour into each other. And we reflect off of each other.
Absolutely. And I mean, so much so that like me and some of my classmates from Victor's class, like they may not be in class with him now, but we've even gotten together recently and we had abundance parties.
Ooh, how come I wouldn't?
Because we were
Wait
just
a minute.
hold on. We just tested the water. We were just testing the waters with the four. It was just four. Because they were like, well, let's see what this feels like. Because we don't want to have other people come and they be like, what y'all on? Y'all doing next semester? So yeah, so we tested it out to see what it felt like, and it wasn't. But it was like, wow, it was just dope, and we were able to speak this into each other's lives and speak just being able to speak that and speak life into one another.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying? So now it continues to grow, even to the point to where with the Wu-Tang audition, ChantalMaurice.com. When guest star coaching with Chantal Maurice, she take my audition, bro, and we like were so living truthfully. Like I'm not gonna lie, I got scared for at a certain point. You know, and she was popping off, and I'm like, yo, I'm about to pop off too. Like we about to go.
Living truthfully,
Yes,
shit gets real.
Yes, it does get real.
It gets real.
Yes. So like that, and my agent and my manager working together, like she found the audition, and then they sent it. I sent it to them, and then they sent it to it. Just the tribe is so important. You know, so Sean, Stellar Artist Management, Michelle, happy birthday, Michelle. It's her birthday tomorrow.
Oh, happy
So
birthday.
my manager's birthday is tomorrow. Yeah.
Who's your agent?
My agent is Coastal Talent.
Okay.
Yeah, with Linda and Pam. So
Excellent.
yes, so the tribe is a team. I see the tribe team now.
Yes,
Yeah, the
it definitely takes a team
Yeah, it does.
in this industry.
Mhm.
You can't do it by yourself.
No, not at all.
It's not one of those feats you can do alone.
It's not. It's. Can I
Try.
say that? Can you say that again to
Yeah.
It's you can't do it alone. Like when you ask to do an audition, you can't do it by yourself. No. So call upon, you know what I'm saying, your tribe. Y'all find a tribe and create. You know.
Absolutely.
That's important.
Absolutely.
Truly.
Let's see. Speaking of finding the tribe,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
What would you say are 4 top qualities that people need to have to really? No, I don't want to ask that question. Cut that out. Okay. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay. So Atlanta is Black Hollywood, right?
Atlanta is Atlanta.
Atlanta's Atlanta. Okay.
I want to put a Hollywood.
Okay.
I don't think that's just
I agree.
You know
That's what they call it.
That's what
Black
they call
Hollywood.
it. Correct.
Yeah, and so there is this coastal bias of Atlanta actors and LA actors, right? And so a lot of people want to move to LA. Even myself, I even considered it. So I told you.
No, I'm doing this to me. This like.
Okay.
I might be moving too.
So, I mean, that's a question, or that's something that I think a lot of actors are faced with.
Okay.
You know, should I stay here in Atlanta, or should I move? So, what would be 3 questions that you feel an actor should ask themselves before they move to Atlanta, or to help them make a decision of whether or not to stay here or move to Atlanta?
That's good. I think one of them would be, because I'm even asking this myself, and it may not be a question, but actually it is. Have you? This is maybe the last question, but have you meditated and prayed on it? Have you meditated and prayed on it?
say it for the folks in the back so they
Okay.
can hear.
Have you meditated and prayed on it?
Meditation.
Yeah, because that's what I am still doing in a sense, in the process of having a clear decision. And another, maybe not even a question, but I have gotten the advice to say, be mindful of who you share your decisions with before you've done the meditation and prayer. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of where, that is very important to do that. And then have you done the work here to even have that be a decision to make? That's important, because if you haven't done the work here, then what makes you think you're going to go out there and do the work? So you got to do the work here first to even be able to stand in that and say, okay, I am ready to move to LA or New York because I've done the work here. I've met all the casting directors. They've seen me. I'm putting myself on tape. I've been in class, and I've done the short films. I've done the independent films. You know what I'm saying? Like I've gotten my co-star. I got a couple of guest stars under my belt. You know what I'm saying? So like I think that's important to ask yourself that. But then sometimes, hey, everybody has a different path, right?
True, everybody does have a different path. That's true. What they say, what's for you is for you.
What's for you is for you. But yes, and
Yes, and.
it's also great to have those key questions asked.
Yeah.
Because
Do a little reflecting.
yeah, it helps. It helps.
Excellent.
Yeah, it helps.
Excellent. And then my last and final question for you.
Wow.
What advice would you give, considering your story, you not, taking the conventional route of a lot of actors who, maybe have majored in theater in high school and college, they have theater degrees. What would you say to that person who has been in the industry, who's been working, and they're just discouraged because they can't get an agent, they haven't booked, and they just want to quit? Like, what sort of top 3 things, or what would you tell that person?
Wow, that's good.
Especially a person who is, maybe not necessarily in their 20s.
Got it. Yeah, that's
a
good.
little bit older.
Yeah.
Take time.
I know. It's I would honestly, say it's not our time. Everything doesn't come in our time. It comes in God's time. That divine alignment, that divine timing, and we don't know, because we don't know what that is. Fall in love with the journey and trust the process. So in the space of going to class, finding your tribe, being consistent, being persistent, inside of all that, and believing in yourself, I think that divine timing is gonna be like, and when it hits, it's like, oh, I'm glad I waited, because this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. So and to know that people, to let them know that you are enough. Like, because sometimes we feel like we're not enough and we're not good enough, but you are more than enough. And so let that, you are more than enough. You are more than enough. And nobody can take that away from you. You know what I'm saying? So the only time that we lose is when we quit. So if you don't stop, you won't lose. If you just keep, my thing is that keep going. You keep going, 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 keep going. And it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be pits, and it's gonna be valleys, and it's gonna be all that stuff. But it's like, okay, don't stop.
No, yeah, and that was beautiful, very well said. And I would say also make sure that you are, you know, pursuing or tapping into or, you know, sort of massaging all of the other things that you enjoy.
I was thank you, thank you.
All of
Yes.
the other interests that you have. You know,
yeah.
because a lot of times you'll find yourself, a lot of times you'll find yourself on a certain path initially, and then you'll see that your path ends up evolving into something different, into a different space.
Love it.
So continue to enjoy the journey.
Yes.
I think that's very well said, beautifully said. And oftentimes as artists, as actors, you know, we do get caught up in, you know, booking and auditioning and, oh my God, I gotta book a role, and we can't see outside of that. And I've been in that situation myself.
Yeah.
I think we all have.
You all have, yeah.
But once you start to just say, okay, I'm gonna enjoy this journey.
Yep.
One day at a time.
Yep.
Stop thinking about what's going to happen a week from now. Stop thinking about what's going to happen a year from now. Enjoy every day.
Yeah.
Take one day at a time, 1 hour at a time.
Right.
You know, and
Yes.
just feel what you're feeling every hour and whatever, because if you stop and take that time to just feel, you'll realize that you have other passions. Well, go figure. You have other things you want to start looking into. You know, that may fill you just as much or even more as acting. So I would just add that to what you so beautifully and eloquently said. Just enjoying that journey and understanding that what is for you is for you.
Yes.
Continue to do the work, and just being mindful, trying to be present, focusing on being present and mindful and tuning in to what you're feeling and what you want and what feels good to you.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, y'all. Church. That's man. I didn't know I was going to Ivory Church today.
Yes, you didn't know you was going to Ivory Church. Came to Ivory Church. Thank you so much again. Tell everybody, Mr. Jason Louder, where can we see you next?
All right. So you guys, the Wu-Tang Clan, the American Saga, that show on Hulu, it'll be premiering on September the 4th. And so you can catch it on Hulu. And Black Lightning, season 3 is coming up. It's coming up. So CW.
Yes, honey. Yes. Booked in hashtag. Booked in busy.
Yes. So that's where, you know, and of course, you know, catch me in the universe. You know, I be out here in these streets. You know, I be getting, you know, my vegan burgers, my patties and stuff like that. So,
yes, you can always catch Jason at the tropical smoothie, the vegan, all the vegan spots in town.
Yes,
you will probably see Jason there.
Yes, but yeah, just enjoying life. So
that's awesome. Well,
yes,
thank you so much again. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I love the interview. Love your energy, your spirit. Love it, love it. This is my brother from another mother. And thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this is Shining on Purpose with yours truly, Ivory Shields, and we will see you next time.
Yes, Ashe.